JavaScript mostly. I like vanilla JavaScript. Didn't go to college, self-taught. Been doing it. It's weird to think, but over 20 years now. So, yeah. Yeah,
Does it feel like 20 years?
Yes. But at least I'm not doing PHP anymore. So.
What's wrong with that?
You want the list? Do we
PHP.
have time for that? Do we?
PHP is what's wrong with PHP. I actually liked it when I was doing it, but now that I'm away from it and I've tried to go back, I'm like,
Depending on the framework you're working in, yes.
Maybe.
You know, but.
But I know
if it's
nothing
Lar-
about the frameworks, and I don't want to learn anything.
Like if it's Laravel or Symfony, or what Drupal was based on Symfony.
Drupal, no, I've had
One of
enough
those.
experience with Drupal way back when. Never again.
That's right.
My name is Ashton. I'm a React guy who just likes many things about React. Any cool stuff. That's all I got.
My name's Adam. I do QA at a company called Swell. Besides that, I do freelance development. I do use Laravel, and that's only because job security. So.
Because no one else wants to learn it.
Oh, and I didn't go to college, so
Yeah.
that's another reason why.
I'm just gonna stop the college thing. My name's Cole. I'm working at a company called Trumi. I'm doing their website, like kids. It's like Gab, but better. We're doing that. I've been programming since I was 10, so 8 years.
That deserves applause.
Started on Scratch. Ended up making a 3D engine in Scratch. Very proud of it. But yeah, that's me.
I'm Chris. I'm mostly here for that Adam. I'm going to Weber State in a month, and my life's not very interesting.
That's against the rules. Couples back.
Now you got to say something.
You have to say
like
something
more
that's
positive.
interesting.
Like the story about the purple hair.
Oh, I dye my hair purple because I go to Lehigh. Obviously, the colors are purple, and I really want to have some school spirit for the first track of the year. So
He's nothing but a school spirit. He wore a purple cape to Weaver.
I also wore that purple cape to the state championship.
It makes you run faster.
Guessing by your shirt that you ran track and field for Lehigh.
I'm Kyle. I'm a developer company called Vision Health.
Oh, come over here. Oh, I can be on TV too. Hi, Internet! Don't worry, there's not that many people that join in on the live stream. But, I'm AJ. I've been doing JavaScript for a long time. A long time. I like the server side of things because for those of you that don't know, front end is complete and utter madness.
Yep.
I'll do storytelling.
It's also made up.
Yeah. And I run this meetup, or at least try to help find people that wants to present and wants to learn interesting things. And that's kind of in a, like, usually I'm pretty energetic and spunky, but I'm kind of in a low-key mellow mood today. Some of the people could attest to that. So I apologize. This being your first time here, you don't get the full frontal that is later. But it'll come later. I just need more Dr. Pepper. It's going to be fine. And then, Adam, can I force you into presentation mode?
Yeah.
We can do that?
Yeah.
All right. Well then, first off, how do we get the TV to work with the new system? Is that something that...
It's been working pretty good, just like plugging it straight in.
Just plug it straight in? Okay.
Wait, just switch spots.
Oh, yeah, we do got switch seats.
So if I could get you to open up that Jitsi link, then I will do the normal pleasantries. Wait, I said it was going to be story time, and I don't remember what that was about.
Front end is madness.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, front end is madness. So back before some of you were born, there was this thing called the directory, and you could put files in it, and you could copy it over to a web server. And what would happen is the web server would read from the directory, and whatever was there, whatever it told it to do, that's what it would do. And if you wanted to change it, you would change the file in the directory, and then on your computer, they still have on most computers this legacy key that's F5. And if you were to press that key, everything would restart from scratch, but you'd barely even know because it happened so fast.
Is this something like S3?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Nailed it. But back in those days, you couldn't run something like React because there were these things called standards. And they were followed. And if something didn't exist, you'd give a 404. Some of you may have heard of Homestar, like maybe your granddad used to watch that.
Oh yeah.
We do such crap about lying.
Strong
I mean,
bad.
Just lie. Who followed the standards? Can you name one person?
Microsoft.
Are the standards ever followed even?
Well, the HTTP status codes were, I mean, pretty good. If you had a coffee pot, it would return 427. And if you had teapot.
Yeah.
418, yeah.
It was close, but yeah, coffee pot, return teapot. It's almost the standard.
Yeah, 420, chill out.
Closer to 9.
Have you ever looked at the HTTP cats?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I can't do that today. I'm sorry. You made me feel unsafe. I'm going to pass the conch to Adam. Okay.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yep.
All right. So I need you to turn off. Wait.
That's super cool. It's one big image.
Hold on a second here. I'm going to turn off my speakers. That's good. Okay. And then what I need you to do is to share your screen.
Okay.
There should be a button if you hover over it, it'll allow you to share your screen.
Are screen sharing entire screen or just application window?
Whichever you feel is best to do, but if you're unsure, entire screen.
Okay. Can the whole internet see my screen now?
Yes, the whole internet can see your screen.
Oh my goodness.
But you can pull up the presentation and make that your whole screen.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you full screen that, but don't do that. Alright. Cool.
And then what's this for?
Oh, there's bad echo. Do I need to cancel this, or do you need to cancel this? What, will you turn off your speaker on your... Yeah,
Is that fixing anything?
Is there still an echo? Steve is commenting that there's an echo.
It's his microphone. Microphone's on.
There's some
Or your
microphone?
microphone, but I think it's his microphone.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, no, mine is muted in Jitsi.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so no more.
Now there's no microphones on in Jitsi. I'll turn mine on then.
Still an echo or?
Let me make sure it's the right one. Yes, this is the right one. Okay, I think we're good. So people are going to hear my sound. They're going to see your video. It's going to be great.
Okay, perfect.
Everything's okay. So with that out of the way, all right. I'm gonna get my spunk back up.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome back to another exciting meeting of Utah Stack JS.
Sunday.
That's right. Tonight in the winner's corner we have. Wait, you're sharing your screen in a weird way. Can you just share your screen?
Oh, they're seeing this.
Alright.
They're seeing all of this?
I think so.
Oh. Why would they see all that?
That's the question we're trying to figure
I
out.
thought
right
this only showed if there's two of
Okay,
them.
it might have been on my side. Might have been my bad.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on anymore. But the important thing is, so we've got Adam here is here to present. He is ready, or not ready, but ready as he's going to be. Let's give it up for Adam! Woo! We're going to be learning about FuzzyJS, harnessing the magic of fuzzy search. So hopefully this is going to be good, and if it's not, we'll invite him back to try again some other time on a different time. No, it's going to be good.
This is my first presentation, so be kind to me, please.
I will not do that, but it's
Oh,
okay. It'll come out fine.
I'm just in my fire.
I also want to give a shout out to Vivint, in particular Travis and Jeff for, we can do the clap. For hosting us tonight. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. We appreciate our bellies being full so that we can focus on what's important instead of hunger. And that's really
Food's not
great.
important.
But the message that's being delivered rather than hunger. All right, and so with that all out of the way, I will hand it over to Adam. But for some reason, I'm still seeing not that. I'm seeing something else.
Are you seeing this?
I'm seeing that.
Okay.
Try sharing the other screen, the other window full screen. Oh, cool. You got that Linux desktop manager from the 90s. That's sweet.
I was looking at it earlier today. I'm like, that's so cool looking. Like, I was wondering if it was an Apple thing.
It is an Apple thing. They stole it from the Linux desktop managers in the 90s. Because this used to be a thing back in
Oh, it's super nice.
I
love
don't
this.
know, Red Hat 8 or something.
Plus, I can just go to desktop if I click right there.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Nice.
But it's not what Apple does, just still
Okay.
Linux.
All right, but it is still sharing.
Or BSD.
Is it showing this
Now, yes.
Okay, that.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, perfect.
Everything's good.
Okay.
All right.
So, harnessing the magic of fuzzy search. First off, I'd like to start with a little bit about me. My name is Adam Del Castillo Call. I am 18 years old. I write music. I'm on Spotify and are pleased to meet you. I'm currently a UVU student and I've accrued 75 credits towards computer science, done through mostly through the MTech course, which is amazing. Cole was doing that with me.
It's awesome.
So on to the presentation. Fuzzy search. Well, what is fuzzy search? Fuzzy search, or approximate string matching, is a loose term used to describe any piece of code that finds how close two strings are to one another. It is used in Google searches. It is used in spell check, and it's even used in certain art programs like Blender. This is actually what got me onto this subject. During a live stream, Blender announced that they would be doing this for their node system, and it was showing increases in productivity by 10 to 20% for their artists. Apparently not typing in the U in bump node saved them a ton of time. So that's the thing. Fuzzy search can be as simple as a few lines of code, or it can be as complex as you want it to be. Now, this entire presentation will be me talking about how I made my fuzzy search, and I have like 5 pages of research and written down charts here, so I clearly do not make mine the most simple. But to start this project, a list has to be made of what has to be done. First, you need to research, test ideas, write your code, and then optimize your code. So first off, research. I realized very quickly that just typing in words into Google and seeing what it gave me back, or using Blender to see what nodes I would get back, would not give me what I really needed to figure out what would happen next. So I found a package on NPM and created a little test site with it. And I will go to that right now. I need to stop sharing my screen through...
Could you just make that? Oh, because that's not a browser, that's the node tab.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so weird.
But what? Huh? It should be here. It's right there, but it's... What?
The demo gods are just testing you.
Try your entire screen because that may not count
Yeah.
as.
Okay, yeah.
let's try that now. Switch over. There you go.
So right here, we have a bunch of random words. I used a random word package to actually get these and then save them. So let's just say we want to look up sun. Well, it's 100% confident I want the word sun. 99.9% confident I want the word sunlight. And then 66.67 that I want snow, shore, swung, and all of these. And to even test out how effective this is, on the left here, if you click on a word, it will randomly take out a letter from your search and then tell you the answers. I think I spent a little bit too much time on this one because I pulled in a dictionary API so that you could even see the definition of the word you click on. It's not important, but I'm happy with it.
What do you use to make the pop-ups?
I used Google Material. I'm a hack.
That's not
No, it's good.
Material UI.
Yeah.
Material UI is awesome.
Material's
He
great.
loves material.
I'm a big material
He
guy.
died for material.
I would. If somebody was sharing the servers for Google Fonts, I would take the bullet. Any day of the week.
Quick off topic. Click the hide button there.
Oh, yes.
It's just bothering me.
Thank you. So, from here, I started writing down a few of the words and their confidence values along with my search. Let me go back to sharing my presentation. Play from current slide. We're still good on the screen? Okay. So I started finding some patterns and writing down what I saw. If you look, we can already start seeing adult pops out first for ADLT. This is the search term. These are the words that pops up, confidence values, and then what I think their algorithm went through to get the number it gave me. And then I did it again for Garge and these words. I wrote it down basically if there's an insert, if there's a match, if there's a deletion, a transposition, or a substitute. So of course for adult we have 4 matching text, 4 matching characters, and then 1 insert. Although is 3 matching, 1 deletion, and then these were just added on after the fact, and so on and so forth.
Can you explain that a little bit more? Insert, match, deletion, transpose, substitute.
Well, my thought was, I'm trying to figure out how close these 2 strings are. So here's the search string that I gave the computer to work with. And then here's what it gave me. So I started thinking, what's the difference between ADLT and adult? We have 4 matching characters and then 1 insert. So I boxed it and categorized it as an insert.
Okay.
For although, there's a little X here because we're deleting the D, alt, although, and then we just added these. Badly adds a B, and then addle is there, but then we have a substitution of Y as I thought because we're replacing the T.
So substitution because the characters are next to each other on the keyboard? T
Well,
and Y are right next to each other?
substitution because, and I will admit, this isn't the best thought out. I was doing it in between breaks of training for a job I had to get. But my thought was it's ADLT, so we're just scratching off the T. So if we're just going to scratch off the T, we might as well just replace that T right there, instead of deleting it and adding on a Y. I thought maybe the computer was thinking, if we can substitute letters in here instead of deleting them, it would consider it a higher score, a higher confidence value or whatnot. And then of course I did transposes right here, which aren't valuable here, but they are kind of interesting here, right? We have the N needs to be replaced here, it's saying. But honestly, that became less and less important as we went on.
So is it transpose just mean like swapping places?
Yeah, swapping places with characters. So I started annotating what I thought the computer was doing, and there are already some patterns, but this kind of got me scared because now I got to figure out all of these things in a timely, effective manner because of that optimization at the last step. This leads me to my hero, Vladimir Levenstein. This guy is pretty cool. He made this, Levenstein distance equation. He made this in 1969, which is kind of crazy because it's written out exactly like a function. You can just turn this into code as is. What the big problem here, though, is his equation goes and let's just grab ADLT. It says A to A. That's a complete match. So 0. A to AD. You need to add on the D, so 1. Your outcome is 1. A to ADU, now it's 2 because you had to add D and U. And it does that all for A, and it runs through, and then it goes AD, runs through it all again, ADL runs through it all again. And so you're basically getting every combination of every piece of the string, and it's getting a edit distance final value from there. For adult, it would get the final value being 1, because we just needed to add a U in there. And this is great. Honestly, the fact that this was written at all in 1969, considering the times, that's incredible. But it's not effective at all in terms of time or memory. So I went through and did some more research, and if you look on this page specifically, don't mind the physics homework. I was finishing physics up at the time. But if you look at these are in squares right here. And that leads me to my second hero, Fred Jacob Demaru, I think is how you pronounce his name. He made the Levenstein-Demaro square. And this is incredibly better. This is just better in every single way. It's better for time, it's better for computation, it's just mwah. Because now instead of going through M-A-L-A-N-G, it is just saying basically, is M equal to M? Yes? Okay. So copy the value from the 1 up, 1 to the left square. Is A the same as A? Yes. So it keeps copying it down, and so on and so forth. But if it is not equal, like M to MA is not equal, it will grab these 3 squares right here, it will grab the smallest value, and then it will add 1 to it. If I go back to these ones, there's no good examples here, I guess, but I to A, for instance, we have a 1, 0, 1, 0 being the smallest, so now it's just 1. But M is a match, so grab the 1 from the 1 up to the left, 1 up, 1 to the left, and A, 1 up, and 1 to the left again.
Okay, so forward one slide, please. So I got lost a little bit. There's ST, there's Malong. I don't know what Malong means.
It's just a random word,
And
I
there's
think.
Malong. And then, so this, which one is the, well, in this case they're the same, but which of these is supposed to be the input value, which of them is supposed to be the test value, target value?
Yes, sorry, I'm going a little bit fast here. This one will always be your first value.
Your input?
Not your input, what it's looking for,
Okay.
and this is at the side is what will be your input.
Okay.
They can be interchangeable, but for the sake of a fuzzy search, your input should be the left side. Which makes it easier in a few ways.
Okay, and then this one,
Why is that 1 and 1 rather than 0? Because those sort of match, right?
No, that's a really good point. I don't know why that's a 1. These are the same word. The edit distance at the end should be 0.
you copied from the faux answer key.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's what happens when you get your textbooks on the black market.
This is what happens when you have to stall for time and finish your presentation at the building. So, this is a bad picture, but Saturday to Sunday, for instance, right? S is equivalent to S, so we just grab the 0 from here. A is not U, so it's 1 now. And then from here, we follow this square all the way down to the final bottom right square, in which we get our final edit distance. We have a final edit distance of 3. Saturday is 3 characters away from Sunday. So now we can move on to testing and writing code. I made a little website that would do this for me as well. And let's go to that one really quickly, because it's honestly my favorite part of this entire presentation. Okay. So, anyone got 2 random words?
Random words.
There you go.
Random in words are 5 characters away. And of course, that makes sense. You're adding on 1, you're changing like all of them, except for the O. I even gave him little color coordinations to really hone in how bad 5 would be in our fuzzy search. This is bad. We don't want 5. Don't pull up the word if it's 5.
Okay, so can you explain this a little bit again? Because I'm seeing, lots of numbers, and yellow numbers are good, and purple numbers are bad.
Yeah.
But like, how do I interpret from this what the total goodness or badness is?
Well, let me pull up Saturday and Sunday, because I think this is one of the...
That's Sunday.
That is Sunday, you're right. This is one of the better examples here. So, am I able to walk up here? Like, that's still good?
Yeah, you walk up there.
Okay. So yeah, we grab the distance of this word. Sunday has 6 characters. Saturday has 8 characters. And then from here, we can start, like I said before, S is equal to S, so it's 0. And then we do this all the way through. But what I've categorized as purple numbers is 2 away from the longest number. If we're getting a number 7 as the difference between our input value and what we're looking at, that's really bad. That means that our words are very, very different from each other. So we should not pull it up. This one ends with 3, meaning that they're actually pretty close, which you just get rid of 2, then you change the T to an N. So from here we also get to see our first look at a green cell, which is a 0. If I type in 2 strings that begin the same, they will have green cells. That is because it is equal to 0. This is just here and here, so the entire word is equal to each other, but we are getting green cells down the middle because, they're the same. What's super interesting about this, though, actually, is we can already start to make assumptions about what this n value will be based on earlier values. Like if I go back to Saturday and Sunday, with our edit distance of 3, we got 3 right here. That's because this one ends in day, and this one also ends in day. So we already know that it's going to copy itself down to this final edit distance. So I added this little button over here to speed along that process. Now, of course, it's giving an orange value because it is 3 away from the longest value in here. But it will still act the same as if it was Saturday and Sunday, giving you the 3 at the end.
Wait, so that is if it checks for things that are the same at the end and then it cuts it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
That speeds along the process like immensely, actually. When it comes to optimizing the square, actually, you only ever need these 2 lines, your current line and your previous line. So at that point, you just forget about these bottom ones, you move down one, you forget about this top one, and so on and so forth. And then, like I said before, we can cut it even shorter using the suffix duplication button is what I called it.
Suffix deduplication?
Duplication, like they end the same. We have
okay.
suffix duplication.
Okay, because when you click the button, it deduplicated.
Yeah, it gets rid of those values.
Okay.
So go back to...
Do you do prefix deduplication as well?
I do have that actually, yes.
And then you may be about to explain this, but so visually, I kind of get it. I'm not 100% there, but like greenish yellowish line from start to finish, good. Reddish purplish line, bad. How do you turn that into a score of 90%, 20%?
Well, To be honest, I did the color just mainly for UI purposes, so that the audience, the viewer could see, hey, this is a bad number. We don't want this number. But what should be given should be minimal change. Your two words should be pretty close to each other, so they should have an end distance of 1, 2, 3. It should be a smaller number. If it's anywhere near the length of the word, then it's on the lower end of what should be there.
So, and
So
again,
is it like a way, or, sorry.
you go ahead.
Like, do you compare it with like an entire database of words and kind of figure like if it contains these letters, and then you compare the words, then you're able to get a whole list of words that got the certain scores to them?
Are you asking for the confidence value in the first website? Like it's comparing it against every single other word in the database? No, it doesn't do that. I thought it did for a while actually, but upon further testing, no fuzzy search does that. Just because doing that is terrible. It just figures out what it's most confident about and then lists it as such.
How does it compare words? Like, how does it know which word to compare?
Yeah, how do you get the starting pool? So I don't need to compare Sunday against
Sunday.
beer. But why not?
Mississippi.
Well, it does this is actually part that I wasn't able to get to pretty, I had to cut that part off in my testing for this, but there is a tree that it runs through. It does a test on the first few characters of what you put in against like the first 2 or 3 against every single other word, and it just makes base assumptions based on that.
So
And then
if the dictionary is 20,000 words, like the English language, it's going to do 20,000 comparisons one time, at least.
Yeah. Which isn't the best, but that's why fuzzy searches aren't usually used for massive databases like that.
I mean, it takes a few nanoseconds, so yeah, it's kind of slow.
The thing is, like I showed in the case of at least Blender, there's only 100 nodes it has to look through to do that correctly. For Google searching, well, that would be searching through. That would be searching through most words, but are you guys still seeing my presentation up there?
Yeah, this is what's displayed. So Google has an in-gram thingamabob. I don't know how it works with the individual searches, but it's probably more sophisticated than this.
Yeah, probably.
Well, wouldn't Google be based on like frequent searches? Like if you talk about, if you're searching like something React, blah, 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 and in the past you were searching JavaScript, kind of just like, oh, he's meaning React JavaScript, not React to this video or something.
It's true. I think that too.
Well, yeah, Google does, and then it also does it for events. Like if you look up moth next to Mother's Day, it will say, hey, you want Mother's Day, as opposed to you're looking up the word moth for some reason.
Why would you not look up moth?
Why would you look up moth? Genuine
If you're
question.
interested in the difference between moths and butterflies, because you can tell the difference when you see it. They both come from a caterpillar-like creature. They both have wings.
Well, no, I agree with you, but you can tell the difference when you see it, so why look it up?
Well, the question is, well, I can tell that how the fuzzy search works. Like intuitively, I understand the fuzzy search. So
Yeah.
why bother learning? See?
I mean, no, that's actually a really good question. Hey, yeah.
I
yeah.
have a question about your app that you did,
Yes.
even though you're not sharing it anymore. But for example, what if you do there THERE and THEIR? Does it, how to compare those?
This is
there and
purely
here.
comparing two strings. So for there, it would say we're only adding 1, which is the I in there, so it would give an edit distance of 1. That's the thing about leveraging the narrow distance, though. It is a bit flawed when it comes to the bigger picture of fuzzy search. More data has to be known before we can start using this in practice.
So it's not much as about thinking it's autocorrect, it's
Predictive?
yeah, it's more like limited prediction. Limited is the right word.
What do you mean exactly?
It's like I was like, I feel like when you're trying to think of there and there, it's more like an autocorrect territory. So trying to correct someone who's trying to type something like that. But this isn't a typo. This is something that you know what they're trying to look for in the beginning, not. I don't know, describe it.
Well,
Yeah, there we go. That's the word.
I actually find that I have this problem again. You know, if you come back from the days where you grew up a Homestar Runner, you'd remember a time when if you put quotes around a search term, it would do an exact search, and it wouldn't try to, I don't know what the term is, when you change the endings of words like ing or er or stuff like that.
Conjugate.
Yeah, I don't, conjugated things for verbs, but anyway, in any case, so there was a time when if you wanted specifically, I don't want autocorrect, I don't want similar words, I'm looking for an exact phrase, you could do that. You can't.
When did it change? Because
Wait,
I've noticed this too.
I think
Yeah,
about
it's
3
changed.
years ago, 4 years ago.
I
think
thought
it's a lot.
I thought you could like do some certain like.
You can have plus quote, and
Yeah, there you go.
but it's not the same. It gives it weights things that are more similar more highly, because it's almost they're just a little bit behind the times on the Chat GPT, but that's what they were doing with their caffeine update. Is you ask what's the weather outside, and it will also give you results for what's the temperature outside, because it's trying to determine what you meant, not what you said. And if you put the quotes on it, then it will do a better job. It will rank what you actually said higher, but it's not like 5-10 years ago where if you put the quotes around it, it would look for the exact term, and that would be the only thing that would rank. And they used to have Boolean search and stuff like that too, where you could use amperand, operands to, you know, like, just
I'm going to search for moth day in quotes.
International Moth Day.
There should be one.
It seems to be working.
Try it without quotes.
I think it's more of like, if you're spelling it a specific way, it'll force it that way, but like the general subject matter doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
change.
you have to try a word that doesn't really exist. Moth and day are both real words, but if you were trying
Well,
to search for like, I know this from a GitHub package, like if you're
Or
looking for
username.
someone's username, that is not a real word, and you're like, no, only show me this. It's like, oh hey, did you mean this GitHub repo? I'm like, no, that's why I put it in quotes. I wanted that one. I know it used to exist. I'm like,
Okay, I'm going to do moths per day.
okay.
Alright. Okay, it recommends searching for Mother's Day instead, but I'm going to force it to search instead for moths per day.
Yeah, there's that button.
And I'm getting what I asked for.
Back in the day, did it used to just come up with no results?
Probably like, cause I mean, who has articles on moth serves a day?
Yeah.
Maybe some fantasy writer who
That'd
needed
be
a new
cool,
name.
actually, yeah.
Moths.
Well, yeah.
It's like a
really
giant moth or something.
Like,
Well, nowadays there could be articles about random stuff,
But it always
still get
is.
into it.
Yeah, like if you guys have found one result, it's like the greatest feeling. I have like 4 screenshots and they're my prize possessions.
There's actually a website dedicated to
Really?
search terms that only have one result. But since I derailed us, I will
Get on the
re-rail
website
us.
and-
Yeah.
Let's get back to your presentation, in case you wanted to finish it.
Well, just really quickly, I wanted to ask, do you know why the quotes make it a more pure search, if I will? All?
It's just because it's the syntax that they introduced after they got rid of the previous syntax. It's just a thing that
They just did it?
Yeah, they just decided to do it.
Okay, well, gotcha. So,
I
yes.
have another question.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
About the chart, how the chart thing works. So so you're saying like if the suffix or the prefix are the same, you could deduct those and then the chart becomes simplified? What
Yeah.
if both are the same, then does it just do you, instead of
It
looking
just
at the very
becomes-
bottom number, you'd look at where they join?
Well, if it's just the exact same, like, yeah, let me get out of here again. Okay.
By the way, Kylie wants you to know that you're the best math teacher ever.
Oh, thanks, Kylie.
And Wilmer Fallen wants you to know plus minus. Lol.
What?
What?
You know, you know.
Well, the first one was my cousin. I gave her math lessons, I think just last year.
Way to put her on. I can't.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think she cares all that much. So if I type in here and here, it is pure zeros. And if I run this, it just becomes 1 because it's the exact same. So we're still looking at this bottom right-hand square, and it's 0. And then when I take it all away, it's still 0.
It reminds me of a matrix.
Well, this is the most important thing, is whatever the most bottom, most... Okay,
Yes.
So all the other numbers are just for you to see how the calculation is performed.
Yes.
But in reality, you probably wouldn't need to do the whole calculation. You could probably just stick to ones that are closer.
So technically, you could have the back end handle all this calculation and just say the number is 0, and it just finds the bottom number, and that's the only one you care about.
Basically, yes. This is our final edit distance.
Yeah, I think this is like totally just kind of like a matrix kind of thing. Like how the more rows you add to a matrix, the more information of how important that row is. I think it's the same thing here. Is the bottom right one is also the most important one, just like a matrix.
Yeah. Well, if you have a word that is like enough insertions or deletions, then eventually the ideal path will go through one extreme, if that makes sense. So it's like towards the middle of the matrix, you've got like either matches or just like a substitution. But like the further you go to either the far right column or the bottom row, those are either insertions or deletions depending on how you're looking at it. And if you have like, for example, like alt and although, that's a bunch of insertions / deletions. And the ideal change path is going to be along one of those axes.
And I think so. This is kind of like it's like a gravity well, because you're taking the 4 squares that are the other 3 squares that are round as part of the calculation of the square that you're calculating, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing that, then that's what's kind of carrying over if things are closer or further. Okay, I think it just clicked for me, although I don't know how to articulate it. But I would think of it like a gravity well. It's like the further things are apart, the more weight it's creating, negative weight. The closer they are together, the better. But you're getting kind of an average / sum as you move along the paths, because the positive weight of the letters that match carries across and down.
Okay, yeah.
So
Have you tried picking the highest number? Does it just become 8? Or just become 8?
Well, yeah, it would always become your longest number.
Yeah, that
value
makes
right
sense. Yeah, that's where it is.
okay.
But what's also interesting is these green squares.
Yeah.
Just knowing from what I know, this will give, if I were to type in alt and show up although, this will give a 99.9 confidence value.
Because it's predictive. You have no negatives. You
Exactly.
only have positives. But it's not exact.
Yeah, it's not the exact string. But because our green cells match the length of our search value, it's going to say, you're probably typing in this word.
So that's really nice for autocomplete instead of like auto. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that's where it's really nice for autocomplete and but not as much as for autocorrect. The autocomplete seems to be like where it's the strongest.
And then predictive text too, like if you're trying to write out a sentence, it probably would take a whole sentence rather than do somewhere comparison.
Oh, and Steve wants everybody to know that my comparison between weight and gravity was on point.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it. I didn't get it at the start, because of the word gravity well, but yeah, you put it pretty well.
He actually said that it was terrible.
So
I'm gonna let you get away with it.
I thought it was interesting that that's what made it click for you. Because I think Matrix, thinking of this Matrix is what made sense to me.
Learning that part took an entire day, just
That
for
was
me.
Just a day, really.
Huh? Understanding it and making it work on the computer, yeah. YouTube isn't the best teacher of it. I found a lot of really bad ways of learning that.
Yeah, YouTube's overrated for learning.
But there was a pretty good one in there. Eventually I got it.
This gave me flashbacks to some hackering puzzles I've done. Like, if you go through like the dynamic programming part, then like there's some that require you to build out this like whole two-dimensional thing in order to solve it. It's a thing.
Yes.
So from here, making this website, this led back into the best part of the process, more research. So now I could start typing in the word it was pulling up, its confidence value, what I did to pull that up, show the amount it was giving me back, and some numbers that Levenshtein-Durau distance square was giving me. See, the final edit distance from low to lower was 1, which makes sense. We're only adding the R. But we had no suffix duplication, 4 total duplicates, and 4 green squares. And this goes through for all of these. And from here, some patterns were emerging as well. Like I was saying before, we got 4 green squares here. And 4 green squares, 4 is the length of our search value. Meaning it is confident that we want lower. It is really confident in that. But, for instance, board to bode is only 75. And that is because it's much less confident when we're missing the A. It's thinking we want something after or before bode to get our word. So why would we forget the A, the R here? And then so on and so forth for good to guide, lunch to lunch.
So, what's the difference if they are the same length, but one letter is off? So is it better to have this scenario of board and bode, or to have the scenario of say board and I don't know what another word that's similar, but like give it the same number of letters but change, do a substitution.
Okay.
You're out of board license.
So if you were to scratch out any other word of bode other than the B or D, it will still be around 75. If you were to place O with a different letter, it would give you a lower confidence value because we have 4 matches here. If this was instead like U, there's no U in board. So
what I meant was, is it better to have, are 2 words more likely to match if they are the same length and one of the letters is different?
Yes.
Or if one's a slightly shorter length but all of the letters are present, none are swapped?
So you're saying would like low give higher confidence value than load,
Law.
I guess?
Low and law. Never mind. I can't articulate it.
Well, low, if it was just LOW, would be still at 99.9, but law would not, because switching out that A and above itself is going to lower our confidence value again.
Like low, law, and LW.
LW.
So if I have low, law, and LW, which would LW rank higher or law rank higher? That's what I was wondering.
Law will rank higher.
Okay.
That's a good question, yeah. the edit distance between law and lower is going to be lower than LW and lower.
No, I meant low, law, and LW.
Which one will rank the highest, you're saying?
If your input is low
Uh-huh.
and your options are law and LW, which one would it prefer? That you swap the
Oh,
A?
law, yeah, okay.
Or
Yeah.
that you're missing the A?
I think they're actually going to be the same,
Okay.
but it's going to rank, it's going to put law above, even though the confidence value would be the same, law above LW.
Does the number of letters match?
Huh? Yeah.
Good. I approve.
So, like I was saying before, the algorithm will always favor words that end the same or begin the same. Words that have just letters missing in the middle get lower values by quite a bit, actually. But for instance, arbit to orbit, you're just missing an O. So it'll give you 99%, as opposed to 99.9, because the R would be at the end where the O is at the start. But what I started to realize was for like ove, right here, it's stove missing S and T. And we are getting 100 minus 2%. Ain, it is paint missing the T and the P. And it's giving us 99%. Well, here's the thing. It is saying we have 3 matches in the word paint with aim. And we are only 1 away from the start. So subtract only 1. Because you can possibly type in the T after the fact. For ove and stove, we have 3 matches. And you are 2 away from the front.
Okay.
The likelihood of missing characters in the front of a word is much lower than missing them after the fact. So for ain right there, it's just assuming you're going to type in T after the fact, so it's just going to forget about it. But you forgot the P, which is odd, so minus it a percentage. Does that make sense? And again, low and lower is the same as tur and tired, because it's just assuming you're going to type in that E and D after the fact. What really threw me for a loop here was T and steal. It was so confident T would lead to steal. Just because of the whole, hey, you're going to type in eel after the fact, so yeah, -1 for the S right there. But personally, I think this is an error in the package that I got, just because it leads to, if you have a one-word search, it leads to a ton and a ton of 99% confidence values.
Yeah.
But when I go to this next one,
You think that a word starting with T would be?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's probably an off by 1 error. You know?
And what was funny is with these words I put in after the fact to match it. Yeah. 30, 99.9, torn, 99.9, type, all the way down. So from here I started writing in some if statements, trying to figure this part out. But again, I ran into a few edge cases that I just couldn't understand. Like, well, here's how I would like to categorize searching. There are perfect conditions, terrible conditions, and in the middle. These are pretty close to perfect because our length of search is equivalent to our matches in the word. So that's a pretty good condition by my book, if I had to say anything. But in a word like urev, to prevent, this is in the middle. We have matching text, but we have this little U at the start. Rev and prevent, but the U, curve and urev. So this led me to start looking at which of the text in the search is matching with the word, right? Rev to prev. So the matching text equals 3, and then I grabbed what is the distance in the matching text from the search text. So we are grabbing the REV, so it's going to be 1 away from the U. So 1 is there. I put in the S length just to have it there. I mean, it's not really important, but I thought it was nice to have in case. And then S distance, sorry, I mixed up these, I said this value wrong. This is measuring how far it is in the word. The rev in prevent is just the P away, so, but for instance, the ur in creature is 5 away from the start. And then this is the matching text to search text distance, right? We're using the rev instead of urev, therefore. Either way, again, more patterns just arose. And so I went to go update my website to now try to figure out the confidence value based upon that information, because it was starting to get really, really close at this point. So for instance, right, alt to although. It is 99.9% confident you want although, because like I said before, green text matches the search text. But if I were to put in prevent as to urev, now it's only 75% confident, and it's grabbing the long string of duplicates, which is 3. It is grabbing the matching text from the start, length of search text, and distance from matching text. Started writing down equations based on this fact, because the way this confidence value works in obtaining a number value is it starts with 0. And then for every mistake it finds in what you write, it adds 1. And then at the end, you subtract it from 100. So for instance, the confidence here is 0.25. Just because from the start we have 4 as our search text value. So our magical change distance will be 25. 100 divided by the value, 4. So 25 is the change distance if things go really, really badly. In a scenario where there is no green squares and the matching text does not equal the length of search text, it will already add our change distance, 0.25 to our value. So we're already going to subtract 25 points from our confidence value because of that. And then this one just stays as 25 because we're actually going to add our number of front distance to our matching text from start and then subtract that. And because this equals 0, nothing changes. But if I were to do curve to urev, this is 1. So now it's 74. If that makes sense. I kind of went through that one a little bit fast.
Yeah, you kind of read out loud, but I think it was decided. How did it get a 3 at the end?
At the end?
Yeah, there's.
Take the ones around it and add 1. That was the.
Oh, right, because it adds 1. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, so if it's 0, 0. Wait. Yeah, actually, that does make me wonder.
If it's the same letter,
Yes, same letter.
then it's always 0, even if it's on the end?
No. Then it just takes the matching value from 1 up and 1 to the left.
Okay, 1 up and 1
So where R
Okay.
is equivalent to R.
Okay, got it. So if it's 0, go 1 up, 1 to the left. If it's non-zero, take the average and add 1. Or no, take the lowest.
The lowest.
Take the lowest and add 1.
But that's not if it's 0, it's if the text matches. It's only ever 0 if our first letter matches, right? Because right here in this corner we have 0. So if this was a C, it would be 0.
Still be 0. Right. So if the two match, then it goes 1 up, 1 to the left. If they don't match, then it takes the lowest value of
the
its
3 surrounding.
neighbors,
Yep.
and then to the up,
Yeah.
to that way, and then adds 1 to the left.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I started running, because this square is really, really nice, but there is a little bit left to be desired. Like from 3, the computer was giving me 74. How do I get 74? So what I kind of figured out was
Bless you.
Indeed, indeed.
you start to, for the edit distance, you will find how high it is above 1. So in this case it's 2. And then you will subtract matching text from start here. So it's 2, subtract 1, so now we have our 75 because our long string of duplicates does not equal our length of search text. And then we will add 1 onto that. Is there any questions? This part?
So you calculate the percentage based off of the length of the word and the value?
You need the length, the edit distance, and your longest string of duplicates, as well as your matching text from the start.
Okay.
These are your 4 most important values.
Then how are they all weighed together? Is there a formula?
Yes. So if your long string of duplicates is equivalent to your length of search text, then at that point, you just say, yeah, you don't subtract anything. You are basically 100, and we're going to find a different value from there.
So it's all based on subtraction and not division?
No, it'll be addition and subtraction.
Yeah, so it's all, that's super weird.
No division, yeah.
It's not a real percentage.
Yeah, it's a fake percentage. Well, okay, there is one bit of division. It will figure out your change distance from this number, from this 4. Notice how it's 74. That means we had to get to 75 first. We got 75 from this number because it is just 100 divided by 4. For instance, if my search text, if we were doing bump to BMP, this will instead be 33. Our change distance is now instead 0.33. So it becomes our length of search text away from 100. 100 divided by length of search text.
Oh, but if you did BMP versus bump, then that would be different, right? Because BMP and bump, you would get higher, right?
Yeah, you should get higher.
Will you just try that one for me?
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah, sorry, my algorithm
to.
is still.
BMP is first word,
That's the
bump
first
is second word.
So
BMP
BMP is the first word.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that one gives you 75% rather
Yes,
than 30%.
because this is our search text.
Yes.
That's okay. Understandable. Gotcha. So it will be based on your search text.
It is not associative.
So do those add together to make the thing? I can't read the text well from here, so if you did BMP then bump BMP, would those added together equal 100%?
No.
No. So could you do a really strong command plus on the console?
Yes. Didn't realize how small it is. Here's the only ones you need. It runs it twice because React does that.
You can just turn off strict mode for those.
Can you really?
And also React Dev Tools also filters them out and turn that on.
I would. Man, I wish I knew that.
And then
Okay.
I looked very recently on Profiler too on React. I love Dev Tools. It's so nice.
Interesting. So can you read this now, Cole?
Yes. Hold on. I can read the numbers.
Yeah. So, do you still have any questions, or is it making sense?
This is perfect.
Okay. So, honestly, at that point, we have a fuzzy search that's actually working semi to pretty close to proficiently. It is not optimized very well. Like oh, did I?
You are sharing your full screen. They need to make it so you can just click on the one you want to share.
Yeah,
You know?
that would be way more effective.
So I have to scroll through.
So now the website figures out confidence values. I should have done a plus before I take the screenshot. But I was still getting errors looking back at my first test. If I go back to, this page, the very first test I did. So I put black dots next to the ones I was getting errors on. Well, I had to cut my presentation a bit shorter. I did fix the problems. Like I was saying before, we subtract based on our edit distance above 1. So this would be 6 in this instance, subtracted by this. So now we're doing a -5.
I think some context was skipped there.
Hmm?
Are you describing a bug that you had that you fixed?
Yes.
And what?
Yeah.
You're describing the word carefully?
This was the first thing I ever did for this, and I went back to check through all of these, and I was getting some errors, so I put a dot next to them, and then I
By
started...
errors, you mean you weren't getting the same confidence that
Yeah, I was getting different confidence values.
Okay.
So I went back and I typed them all up, and what I started to notice was the algorithm tends to favor, or I guess it does different calculations if our matching text is above the halfway point. LT is above the halfway point to although. And so that's starting to give different than what it's really supposed to. It's actually subtracting 1. So what's interesting is it's saying, hey, if the matching text is in the later half of our search string, and it is not equivalent to the first letter of our word, add some confidence to that. Because if LT was in the start of the word, then subtract confidence, but it's not. So yeah, just add a little bit of confidence there. Add only like 1 or 2 points. It's not anything big. And so for all of these instances I was getting wrong in that first page, it's mostly LT or DL. Though I mainly put badly in here because it was just a way to make sure that these 74 values weren't weird.
Oh, so you are aware that worse is the correct word?
Worse? Hmm?
Badly or?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No, I was being silly and I did it wrong.
But yeah, so the fuzzy search will always favor words for the matching text. If it is later in the search string, put it to the later, if it's in the later end of the word we're checking string, add some confidence there. And then this is where I basically stopped building mine because it was giving me really, really close to what the algorithm was giving me based on the package that I got in the beginning. And, I mean, it was only different by like 1 or 2%. And at that point, I didn't have the time to sit down and really figure out all of these edge cases because I started a job at that point. So I basically stopped building mine, and I'm still very proud of it. It actually works really well considering the
Do you
blender.
think it works better than the NPM package?
I think it works better for certain words, I'd say. I'm more happy with mine than the NPM package, I'll just be honest with you. Okay, but theirs was built by computer scientists, so I'm just going to trust that they knew what they were doing.
Don't ever trust that. But no, stop.
Did you step through their source code?
Hmm?
Did you step through their source code to see?
Their source code?
Yeah.
No, not really. I'll be honest. Most of what I did, I wanted to kind of figure it out from the ground up.
It's super
So I avoided that.
You did that, yeah.
So,
Cool.
but here's the thing. You can go through all that. You can do all this process. Or, hear me out, you don't do that. Okay? Like I said, it's just trying to measure how close 2 strings are, and it can be as simple as you want, so just do this. This is all you need. And it is written in Python because I stole it from IBM. But
That
this is all you need.
Indistinguishable from written in any language. It's just equals.
No, it's not len.
It's the len, yeah, that's how you know.
I mean, okay.
Len and min.
Well, the JavaScript, you would just write term.length.
Yeah, where's the before thing? Where's like a
Those are-
const or and
I don't know how to say. So call handguns.
So,
Where does the value of edit distance come from?
at a distance,
Yeah.
This will come from our square right here, the
Does the-
bottom right hand
so
corner.
it still uses that. Okay.
Yes. You do need this part. This Levenstein de Niro distance.
Okay, my one complaint, that slide should have been like 20 slides ago.
Yeah.
It would have made so much of the stuff that you were talking about later easier to understand.
Gotcha. My bad. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much.
All right. MDC says hello, and Steve says this is a JavaScript meetup. What is this nonsense? To which I would say, it's JavaScript. This is syntactically valid JavaScript.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a length function that
That's
just
true,
returns
yeah.
the length.
Wait, no.
Yeah, you could just.
The comma though,
Oh crap! There's no comma.
is that supposed to be a?
Well, it's
No,
in the,
there's-
it's in the min function.
Yeah.
They're parameters.
Yes, the
That's
parameters.
that's the min function.
See,
That's the comma
yeah,
for it.
that's-
You
Yeah.
just write your own len and min
This is the
function, and
whole
you're
thing.
you're
Yeah.
golden.
This is
You
JavaScript.
have a let similarity up there.
It's above it.
Right.
Yeah, we had to cut that part out.
Did you know that functions have parentheses next to the function name, not a space away?
No, they do.
Got fired?
I
You'll
don't
have
think-
to try
no.
again next year.
I don't. No, I think. Well, that was JavaScript 1. Now we're like JavaScript what? 20, 30, 50?
No, it's I'm not.
That's no.
It's okay. Joe says, "Well done, Adam."
Thank you, Joe.
Ammon says, "Nice job." Jeremy says, "Great job." You have a lot of friends.
Thank you. Yeah.
Who's Joe?
I mean, they could
Joe?
be random YouTubers, but since
I
some of them
think
have your
that's my
same last
uncle.
name, I think
Though,
they're.
no, maybe MDC.
Oh, even Steve says, "Good job." Very surprising.
Thank you, Steve. I don't know you, but thank you. Yeah, I just have a big family, and I sent this to the group chat. I was like, hey, no time to explain, but I'm doing a presentation here.
All right.
You have a better family than mine. I sent mine back, and none of them.
Well, you're also in your 30s.
I mean, yeah.
Your mom really cares when you're getting your start in life and making your dent in the universe. She doesn't care anymore.
No, she doesn't.
You don't need encouragement anymore.
I think Alice's mom would still care. She's a smother.
You've mistaken. The follies of youth. All right. Anyway, yeah. So thank you, Adam. Did anybody learn something tonight? That's almost everyone. Todd has not learned things.
I know what Levenstein distance is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay.
that's
For your square thingy, Bob, are you gonna open source that?
Yeah, I'll put it on a GitHub. I haven't yet, but yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Can I steal it?
Yeah.
Well, if it's open source, then yeah.
Yeah. It'll be on GitHub publicly. I'll even send
Two
you a link
different
on the
ways of
Discord.
asking the same question.
Caleb is Steve. He
Caleb
uses
is
the,
Steve.
the
Oh.
anonymous name Steve and then declares himself to be Caleb.
Oh, Caleb. That's one of my brother's friends. Okay.
Anna also says good job.
And that one's my mom. Thank you, Mom.
And she did care.
Thanks, Mom.
She learned.
She learned.
She did learn. Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, there is some time delay between when I read them and when I say things. Okay, so are there any other questions?
Do you have any like example of like what this would be used in like a regular website?
In a website, it would just be search engine optimization. That's it.
Like for search engine?
No, the words are correct. The term as a whole is ambiguous. You would optimize the search.
Yeah, it would just help you optimize the
Okay,
search.
yeah.
Yes. Because search engine optimization is where you use words that aren't relevant so that you can cause your website to rank anyway.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
Or
Well, it's
have
helpful.
ChatGPT write the summary of your webpage.
By the way, ChatGPT helped me a lot on this one, actually. ChatGPT is the
Really?
saver. Yeah.
Yes. That's beautiful.
When will it not help you? besides.
When you ask it,
You can get bombs. You can do anything.
Look, anyone can figure out
well, when you
So,
ask it
suffix
to React
duplication.
testing library,
I don't want to write the
just
function.
doesn't know.
That's
Right.
true.
ChatGPT
Like,
do
it's
it.
like,
Yeah.
can you tell me about this library? It's like, oh, I don't know all the details. I'm like, well,
Yeah. GPT will not help you if you're doing something novel. That's when
Yeah.
ChatGPT will
Yeah.
help.
yeah.
But considering this is probably, there's probably lots of homework assignments related to this.
Yeah.
So there's probably tens of thousands of sample codes on sites from the last 15 years. So I could see how.
What really helped with the, like I was saying, the suffix duplication function, figuring out how much of the text end the same.
Uh-huh.
Like you could write that out, but I don't wanna. ChatGPT writes it. Yeah, you do.
You should probably know how to write that out.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you did all, well, I mean, you did all this, oh, by the way, mad props for literal paper coding. Mad props for
Yeah.
that. Like, actually thinking out the problem, knowing, like, figuring it out on paper, mad props. Is that from the Homestar Runner days only, or do people still say mad props?
I've heard before, yeah. Like in high school,
props.
not from my parents.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
Still with it.
But
Still with it.
Homestar Runner is awesome.
Yeah, like my older brother, as a kid, they sang the Dragon song, the Trogdor song, every night he went to bed.
Yeah, Trogdor, he's the man,
Yeah.
the dragon man.
Yeah, and then all the time, me and my dad say Daggeron because we think it's funny.
Those what?
Daggeron, because when he spells it, he writes Daggeron when he names Trogdor.
Carves it. Carves it.
Oh, I didn't catch that. All right, switching topics again. Next order of business. So again, did we already clap? Let's clap again. Just to all right. So I need to check on Meetup real quick to see what is our next. So our next one is cryptography. And that's going to be some amalgamation of a joint effort between Todd and I. And then in our Discord channel for presentation ideas, did quadruple digit ever? So, quadruple digit has I think a framework that he created, or let me see. But it's HTTP2. He's talking about low-level details of HTTP2. So that one is up for grabs, and I'm actually really. This will be one of the ones that I'm most interested to learn about, because if you had seen the curve of HTTP 1.1 to 3.0, what happened in the middle with HTTP2 was promising and disheartening. And I'm very interested to learn what he learned from the experience on that. Let's see. So, date. Where's the dates? September. Oh, he's down in September. Okay, that's not until September. Okay, so well, I guess August, September.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
2 months from now.
All right, so
Holy
let's do it.
crap, summer was gone.
So we need to get the meetup page updated. Josh, if you would take that on, that would be much appreciated for those two presentations. And we need to know what else y'all would like to learn, or really more importantly, what you'd like to present on. And actually, even before I do that, I'm going to come back around to that. Does anybody have positions open?
In jobs.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, my company's, Trumi's looking for people.
What is it?
Trumi.
True me?
Yeah, TROOMI.
What is that? What is that?
It's a mobile it's like Gab. It's basically
Cell phones for children.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is?
We need a full stack developer. So.
So do you need
What's
front end or
that?
back end?
Okay, yeah, either one.
All of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
preferably all of it, but if they're looking for anyone who has any of it, really.
Well, what's
Or
that?
what stack, like
Yeah.
PHP?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Go.
React.
Okay.
React and TypeScript, and then more TypeScript in the back end, and then Kotlin, if you have that, that'd also be amazing.
Okay, and then what is what experience level and salary range?
They're gonna do the salary based on how much experience you have, but you don't need to have, as long as they're pretty good at seeing if you'd be good at an environment and if you're able to pick up stuff easily. That's what they're really looking for. It's if you can learn easily. It's not about experience with them.
So they're not looking. They're looking for young and ambitious.
No, but they also would love experienced people. They're really just looking for people. That's really what it needs to be emphasized. Is they're looking for people and they want them to not be garbage. And it would just I don't know. They've had people who be like, I'm looking at $100,000. I have no experience. There was 2 interviews like that, which is absurd. Anyways, just be reasonable.
There is no reason right now. What? Have you not seen that the sky is falling? No. Okay. Good
We
to know.
talked about nuclear bombs earlier. Like, there's no reasonable.
So, are there anybody else have open positions right now?
Vivint's always got open positions. A lot of the stuff that I've seen is more senior level stuff. They have also different tracks of positions that they're looking for besides engineers, like product managers, design, UX type people, all across the board. Vivint.com/jobs. Filtering it down to Lehi positions will give you the stuff that's in this building. All the other states that they list are more for the sales and the door-to-door installer types.
All right. And if somebody is looking for a position, are you a good person to
Good
get
person
their?
that I will pass your information on to a recruiter guy. But yeah, if you can go through me, and I'll do my best to find the spot.
All right. I actually know somebody who applied. I'll tell you about him later. But I think that his resume got trapped by a bot.
That seems.
Or he might not be a good candidate.
Yeah, it seems like if you only submit your resume, I've seen that like it goes into a black hole. So it's
Yeah.
always better to go through somebody physical.
I was hoping he would come tonight, but maybe next time. Yeah. Anybody else? Positions open where you're working? Is anybody looking for work or open to work? Okay. So
You raising your hand too?
I am.
Truly
Higher.
I am putting feelers out.
I really applied to it's so nice. It's really independent and all remote. I mean that's the dream, right?
No.
So what?
That's the
To
dream.
some degree.
I mean there is an office you can go into if you want, but you don't.
Well, haven't you like looked into the psychology of the drive there and to home from work?
Yeah, I think my dad made it up.
No, it's not.
Whoa.
No, there are studies that prove this thing.
Shut up.
I'll send you links. I
Well,
will.
the thing, if you don't go to the office, then you become a hermit in your basement, just staring at a screen all day.
I'm in the
That's
living
what
room
it is.
in a recliner. Skylar's around watching TV. I'm fine. I'm so kind of.
I have to talk to people sometimes. I'll become a crank.
All right. So now I will bring it back around to what are some things that you are interested in presenting on? What's something you've learned recently that you would enjoy the experience of explaining, or that you'd hate the experience, but you believe it's probably valuable for at least one other person? Yes, sir.
Well, I gave one like 2 months ago, but I could give one on the new next version. Instead of page routes, it's app routes now.
Is that what?
So they rewrote Next, and they're using app router instead of page router now.
Okay. App router instead of page router. So that's not. I'm not front end. Is interest in that?
Next is back end.
Yeah, Next is server side.
I was gonna say.
What?
Well,
I'm
It's
sorry,
React on the server, so you can
Yeah.
use it finally.
All the frameworks are all about the server-side rendering now.
Like,
All of them.
yeah, on
Running
Max,
on the
you
back
can-
end.
It's just PHP again.
Oh.
Remember that
Take my
guy
back
who just
into
asked in the
it.
chat about that?
Alright.
And Todd and I responded to him.
What?
Yeah. Some guy just asked about, like, should you be focused on server side or front end? And what percentage of your code should go where?
put as much.
Do you want to talk on that? You want to speak
No.
on that?
Oh, no. You should ping that guy, whoever asked that in the chat.
Which guy?
I don't know, he's in the chat.
Look at Discord.
Let me see.
You
I don't know.
should try to put as much as you
Austin
can.
P.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll check that out later.
You should put as much as you can on the server, and then just let the server deliver.
That's cool. Like some people drink.
Well, I'm a back-end guy, so I try optimizing my server as much as possible.
Yeah. It's probably. I don't know.
I also come from PHP land. So.
I'm really glad that we had a presentation on fuzzy search where you don't have to worry about front end or back end. It's just about algorithms.
Yeah.
That made my heart happy. I don't want to talk about front end and back end anymore.
It was a pure discussion.
It hurts too much.
It was innocent discussion.
Yeah.
I've seen a ton of beat up socks in recent memory, and like I'm kind of sick about hearing about how to pass an interview or the hot new tool. So this is like my favorite one. Thanks.
All right. So other things that you've learned recently you would be interested in.
I think would people be interested in, like, I don't know, I think about what makes a good component.
That is very pointed, but I think that discussion of architecture is good discussion personally. Anyone else interested in what makes a good component?
Why not?
He's interested in
Why not?
everything. All right, we got some interest.
You gotta see the components he makes. He's really good.
Yeah, that's what maybe, like, he said that I should do more
Yeah.
components.
I think you
And
should.
Cole, are you in the Discord?
Yeah, I just got Discord like 2 weeks ago.
That's good. What's your name?
It wasn't me.
Yes. Isn't it twasn't me?
Yeah, it wasn't me.
Yeah, but there's no
I don't see you.
You know?
In the Utah Stack JS?
Yeah, you left JS.
No, there's no I.
No, there's no I. Just T and then a
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Twasn't
It wasn't me.
And you just suggested what
Component.
makes a good component. All right.
I don't wanna do this soon, but I'd be willing to do, vanilla, like front-end JavaScript components without any framework and asynchronous.
Well, I want that one.
Yes.
I am going to elevate that one because I want that one.
We should chat.
Sure.
Here's a question: vanilla JavaScript or vanilla TypeScript?
JavaScript. TypeScript is garbage.
It gets transpiled
Well,
into
okay,
JavaScript anyway.
If you are interested, I did a presentation called JavaScript with Types, and you can find that on JS. Actually, if you search
JSwithtypes.com or something like that?
the package is JSWT, and the reason that there's a package for it is just that there's a lot of config that you have to do to get TypeScript to
Google
play
phone?
nicely with JavaScript. And
Yeah,
the
it's a
JS, if you run npx
I always liked the
JSWT
UI of,
init, it
Pixel.
will give you the
It
file
always looks cool.
with all of the options turned on or
That's
off
a nice one.
correctly
I like it.
and the correct
Does
folder
it like run
structure.
fast or?
But
faster
yeah,
than
JavaScript
Fancy
with
Five?
types.com.
My last phone was.
Yes, it
also
is.
Pixel,
So if you do
actually.
JSwithtypes.com,
Before that, I had Samsung
JSwithtypes.com.
Okay.
That's the
You just had some
presentation
pretty
that I
good
gave.
phones then.
You gave it a
Yeah,
last
I mean
year's
these are.
Utah
This is the
Yeah.
conference. Okay.
5A, so
Well,
not the
conference.
flagship.
How big was that?
Yeah, what's
Just
it?
because I'm poor,
Uh,
and I buy
It's
cheaper
pretty big.
phones.
I mean, it's
Yeah, why would anyone pay like above
a few hundred
900
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and speakers have already been
It's a good
selected
fun.
if you want to
It's
check
fun,
out the
okay.
Utah JS conference.
Tickets are about 180.
What? Jeez.
I'm going to go because I need to network.
You get your company to pay for it.
Ah.
Yeah, I can do
I was
that.
gonna say only.
I've got an S corp. It'll pay.
September 22nd, whatever that Friday is.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so that I'll have to see.
September 22nd.
Yeah, I should get a discount code for y'all too. I bet I can.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
I'll ask.
Like, where is it at?
It's in Sandy. At the big master. Yes.
Ken Snyder could pull those strings, right?
What'd you say?
Do you guys want to go?
I want to go.
Yes, I have.
Just think about it.
All right, I will.
Because you don't really do much JavaScript, right?
Yeah.
I will see if there's any discount code link that, because in years past there's been a link to share with meetups, because basically there will be people that, the way that the business world works, there's some people they'll just send to conferences just because they need to, lower they increase. The government's going to take the money if they don't spend it, and so they don't actually attend the meetups or anything. They just people they come because it's a conference and it's, I don't know. Why is this, Todd?
I have no idea what you're describing, so.
What are
You're
you
talking about all the companies that send people to the conferences that aren't actually people that attend
Are you talking about the
meetups,
R&D tax law?
and they just pay the full amount. They don't look for discount codes. They're just like, boom, spend the money.
Oh, it's usually just budgeting and convenience.
Well, there's the R&D tax law that if you give a certain percentage of your budget to R&D, which conferences are considered, then you could be potentially dropped into a different tax bracket, lower, because that money doesn't count towards your net income because it's going back into the company's production.
Sounds as plausible as any reason. So.
Yeah, as long as it's not OpEx, but that's just a bean counter shenanigans game.
Oh,
We do that in all sorts of places.
Kermit also wanted to wait. He changed his name.
Wait,
No,
so
oh no,
Kermit
this
now?
is other. Okay. He said that Jojo Mike needs to talk about how he's doing vanilla JS stuff and is actually enjoying it. But you don't use the TypeScript checker with your coder, do you?
No, occasionally I use the JS docs on some of the more important functions, so they get the type hinting and all the advantages you would get in TypeScript without all that terrible TypeScript.
Yeah, and so that's what the
Yeah, right? Like, the only thing it's just a learning curve, really. I don't know, I love generic, all these, the crazy, complex types you can make, I love it. It's like a second language inside of it.
So there's this thing that's going to happen to you called experience.
Yeah.
And then you're going to retract statements like, I love generics and the crazy stuff. One day you're going to look back at that sentence and you're going to say, oh, the follies of youth. What great times.
At least TypeScript allows for union types, unlike old versions of PHP.
You're comparing types in TypeScript to PHP.
Well, I use unions in JavaScript. I love having, JavaScript does have a type system, FYI, in case you didn't know, JavaScript has a type system, and the optimization rules are according to the type system. And you don't need TypeScript to use the type system and to get the autocomplete and to get the type checking and to get all the things. You just have to put dot comments, which is actually fine because then you have dot comments and you have a nice place to put what this
Oh, really?
does.
They use those as for autocomplete?
Yeah.
JS docs, yeah.
JS
Well,
docs.
no, the slash and the two
Yeah.
dots. Those-
Yes.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Two stars.
Well, that's JS doc typing, and it can be converted into types that you can both use TypeScript to generate a type file from it if you really want type definitions, or if you've got your editor set up right, or the project already has it set up and you're just cloning in the repo, you'll get all the type hinting just with JS docs.
The
So
same way
then you
Spell
can
does.
document your project, and it's got even comments and like use cases and stuff like that, examples, And
Interesting.
you also don't need to suddenly write types because you've already done it in the comments. So,
Yeah, I think it's a lot easier to read because I mean, types, it's C sharp.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
C sharp, and if you're into C sharp, then it's your thing.
It's, okay.
A similar vein, a tool that would be a pretty decent presentation to give would be Zod. I don't know if people know.
Oh, I've heard of
I've
that.
heard of it just recently. Can you tell me about it now and why are you giving this presentation?
It's a schema validator, so the shape of your data, you can well define like required arrays or arrays that have, or objects that have required or optional properties. And of that, it's all JavaScript.
like related to JSON schema or completely
It's
separate?
similar to JSON schema, but you can output type definitions out of your Zod schema. So
Can it do JSDoc or only?
you could add JSDoc to your methods, but this is like you're defining your model shape, so you can validate inputs and outputs. So like I'm passing a big JSON payload up to upload something, and I can just have a little server-side check that says, okay, does this pass my schema, and it allows it to be.
So it's like a fixture for your model, kind of like this is what it's like.
Bless you.
No,
For your model definitions.
Fixture.
no, it's no.
WebDev Simplified is a really good video. It's like 15 minutes.
There's a whole bunch of things that are similar to Zod. I don't know. What is it about Zod that's different? Like, because MongoDB Mongoose Mongoose had the first popular schema validator that I'm aware of,
Yeah.
and then what was the next one? There's been like I don't know a dozen of these, and I don't know why we need a new one because it seems like what was wrong with the other 12?
The next one or the next one?
Oh gosh. So, yeah. So just in 15 seconds, why is
I'm
there
not an
yet?
expert on this subject. I've
Okay.
used it sparingly, but my experience using it, it's got good DX or good developer experience. It's got nice easily memorizable notation. You don't have to like look at all the documentation to
And have you used other ones in the past?
in the past, like lightly as well, but yeah, it's really easy to pick up.
It's just better in some way.
Yeah, I think probably its ability of spitting out type definitions or text group definitions is probably
Okay.
something that sets it apart than others. I'm not sure what others do.
No, okay, that would make sense. So that's the new spin is that schema validations and spits out type definition file. Okay, that makes sense. I can see that.
I can tie it into, like, I've been learning Cloudflare and like their like cloud database stuff like R2 and KV stores and stuff like that. I can demo a small little web app that I built that has these inline functions that just get uploaded to the edge. I'm using the schema validation stuff.
All right, cool. Noted. That one, I think it would be cool if we could get the Zod presentation. I think that's something that we might be able to get on the smaller side, and maybe do a night where we have 2 small presentations.
That's not good.
Okay. And other ideas of things that you'd like to learn? Think quickly, you've got 5 more seconds. There's no raising hands, only shouting.
Well, this would be another small one, so I guess we could like, split one night. But there was an extension I was looking at. I haven't done tons with it, but it's ChatGPT code review, so you could integrate it with GitHub, and it would review your code and give you comments.
Approved.
Interesting.
GitLab is a whole thing they have now. It's experimental. They have a built-in thing for it.
Hey, fuzzy search just worked. I typed your username wrong, and it got it anyway. Yes! And now I know why.
Then you're using GitLab instead of GitHub. You're not using ChatGPT.
Okay,
Well, yeah, no, it's based, I'm pretty sure it's based on a ChatGPT model.
Will the ChatGPT code review your code like Todd would? Because that's what I want it to be me. I'm projecting here. Oh.
Have you not used the role play model?
No.
So ChatGPT.
I've never used ChatGPT.
ChatGPT has a role play model for all of your lascivious needs. But you can apply the role play model to things that don't make as much money, like having someone be mean to you in a code review. I mean, we know what. Enough said. All right, cool. Well, I think this is great. This might even carry us through the rest of the year if we don't get other good suggestions. The only rule is that since you are all present for these ideas, when any of them get presented on, you have to be here even if you didn't like it. Or
That's an interesting rule.
Also, it's been a few months since I mentioned this, but Utah Stack JS is pay to play. It's $10 a year, so you're welcome to keep coming at that price, or welcome to never come back. I don't care.
Where the heck do we pay?
Meetup. Meetup. Yeah, one day, maybe, I'll take Jeff out to a steak dinner if we start raking in the dough. So, get more people to come. And
you don't have to pay for the first 3 months though. Like it's a trial.
What
that's
does
true.
the money go to?
Not being a quitter.
That's essentially it.
Expensive, isn't it?
So when I was,
Isn't Meetup kind of expensive to like start your own meetups? Or did they increase the pricing or something like that recently?
Yeah, so I actually did not end up upping to the super duper premium tier because I dropped Utah Rust, and now I'm just doing this. So whereas before I was managing, I think 3 meetups, I'm not anymore. So I'm actually not being taken in by them in that way. But yeah, it's kind of twofold. But the main purpose is just I want this to be an active group, and I don't want us to get a list of 4,000 members, like because it's not helpful, and then it doesn't. It's like one of those algorithmic things where if you've got 4,000 inactive members, then you're not showing up in the search results in the same way and stuff too. So I just wanted to give it a reboot, and I wanted it to be an active group, and I wanted it to be a group of people that felt like, hey, being able to meet together is worth paying for. So that's essentially what it is. The money goes into my business bank account that the meetup gets deducted from. Currently, I think that it is $60 a year. I don't know if it's $60 per 6 months or $60 per year, but something like that. So if we actually do have 20, 30 people paying, then there'll be a surplus, and I'm not going to do anything altruistic with it. and except for maybe I'll, like I said, maybe I'll see if Jeff wants to have a nice steak dinner or Travis for hosting us. So that's it. All right. Well then. Oh, one last order of business. I'm so sorry. This is important stuff here.
Turn on the lights.
If you make us stand up, I'm leaving.
Wait. No, I'm not going to do
leave,
that.
so.
I know who you're referencing. Okay. All right. So, a gift to our presenter. Thank you for presenting. Stay sharp, my friend.
Thank you.
So here's the thing. I put that in the bag because I was going to give it to you because I didn't give you yours because I wasn't here. But I forgot to put another one in the bag. And since he just presented and I'm already late giving you your gift, that's the other thing they go to is if you present, maybe you'll get a trinket if you're lucky. So, big bucks.
Thank you.
But anyway, and the trick is, have you been here when I've explained this before?
No.
Okay, so hopefully you like knives.
No, yeah, I love knives.
That's good. So you just kind of open and close it about 10 times. The very first time you open it, it's a little stiff.
Uh-huh.
You just kind of open and close it 10 times or so, or put a little machine oil like beer trimmer oil or whatever, and then it's gold. This is like one of the best possible knives that you can get.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, for a keychain.
Yeah, of course.
Like
It's the best keychain.
It's the best
Like-
keychain knife.
Like if you were to compare it, so I bought a few of them. If you were to compare it, here's the Gerber version, which
Wait, like Gerber baby?
yeah. So Gerber actually does camping gear. It's like
They have baby food stuff and camping gear.
yeah.
Oh, they're the
So
baby company.
so they have like tents and canteens and fire starters.
What?
But
Why?
this one's like 4 times as much as that. It's nowhere near as good.
Oh, that's kind of a shame.
Stupid Gerber.
This one's also about 4 times as much as that, and it's worth it.
Okay, yeah. It looks much sleeker. It's nice.
It's funny because if you feel the two, this one is actually slightly bigger, but it doesn't feel bigger. It doesn't feel bulky. Anyway, all right.
But then you need a knife to open your knife.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to open that for you?
Oh, yes, please, thank you.
Yeah. And I will. I probably should have turned off the stream a long time ago. I forgot.
Yes. I
But
would hate it
thanks,
if
thanks
Steve.
again for presenting.
Thank you for giving me the chance.
It was good.
And for stalling for time for me. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. I have to do it for myself all the time. So.
2 years of component based.
Have you ever read the source code for Simpsons Hit and Run? Have you seen any of the comments on that?
Oh, the game Simpsons.
Yeah, Hit and Run, like source code comments. So people found a way to get to the source code, yeah. But basically, they had
I've read the
to
comments. I haven't
they
read
had
the
to
comments.
rush it in like 2 months. So the lead developer, who's been in the field for a while, commented on everything he disliked. Like, I hate this. I hate this too. I hate this. It's terrible. And the entire time I was just thinking, AJ would write this. This is what AJ would write. Of course.
It may be that I've had too much estrogen lately, but like the last few days I've really calmed down and been a lot less angry.
I haven't read the code comments. I just remember there's like a documentation the lead developer let out. It was like, this code is horrible.
Yeah.
And